Welcome in, everybody. If you're on Zoom, if you're on TikTok, if you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, welcome, wherever you're tuning in from. I'm just gonna get, I think this is good. I just wanna make sure we're live streaming on YouTube before I start. Okay, so let's mute that. Boom. Okay, great. So we're on YouTube. YouTube is good. Let me back up because now I'm all up in the camera. Okay. So Zoom is right, TikTok is right, and I got YouTube right. Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome in. This is Attitude of Gratitude. This is probably my favorite topic so far. If this is your first live stream with me, I'm super grateful that you're here. This is a great one to have attended. If this isn't your live or your first live stream with me, welcome back, right? But this is going to be a very insightful, a very transformative, a very enlightening conversation that we're going to have for the next 2 hours. Okay. So attitude of gratitude. We're going to talk about attitude and we're going to talk about gratitude. And I'm going to talk to you about how we're going to combine the two. I think it's very important to understand attitude and it's very, very important to understand gratitude. Right. So I want to combine the both of those into this class so that you guys have everything that you need to be successful when you leave. Okay. So like I said, if you haven't been on a live stream before with me, welcome in. I always play music at the beginning of my live streams. The music that I chose or the song that I chose today was called Gratitude, of course, by Londrell. So if you've never heard that song before, if it's not on your playlist, put it on your playlist right now. As you will hear in the background, I do have my son. He's always with me. Sometimes he's chilling in the background. Sometimes he wants to be in the mix. But there may be times where I have to step away to, figure out what's going on with him. But nonetheless, I am here supporting you guys, right? So I want any mompreneurs, entrepreneurs who are thinking about having kids to see me as an example of kids not stopping anything. My son does not stop the show. The show keeps going on, right? And all that good stuff. So let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me know how you found this event. If I sent you a message directly, if you found it on social media, like how did you even come into this event? I'm going to give you guys a little bit about the outline of what we're going to be doing today. I did write some notes again. So God's spirit is really having me write things down just so I make sure I get some really high level points in for y'all. What is this on? Where's your passy? You want me to get it? Okay, hold on, y'all. Let me go get this. Hold on. Let me get your passy. Oh, stay right there. I know. I know. How would she do that? Why would she leave? Why would she leave like that? Here, you hold that. And then that's your blanket. Okay, so let's see if we can make it work with them. So, yeah, so let me know where you guys found this event from, like if I reached out to you or if you saw it on social media. Outside of that, what we're going to do is we'll go ahead and we'll do a prayer. I do want to do prayer at the beginning of all of my live events. Sometimes I forget, but this one is a thank you prayer, right? So it's a prayer of gratitude. And I want to get us into the spirit of gratitude. I want to get us into the spirit of being grateful and being thankful for everything that is happening, right? We are going to have a visualization today. Hopefully, right? I have it planned, but we'll see how, things flow, where we'll actually get into a state of gratitude, like fully, right? So we'll do the prayer. We'll set intentions. So I'm going to talk to you guys about your intentions for this event after we do the prayer, and then we'll go into the content, right? I am going to talk a lot today. So I want you, if you didn't get my emails, make sure you have pen and paper. Make sure you write down any questions that you have. I do have some questions that I got before the event. So I do have some questions to answer. But if there's a question that pops up while I'm speaking, feel free to write it down and then bring it for the Q&A session. The Q&A session is around 11:15, if I'm not mistaken, Central Standard Time. So keep your questions for there, but make sure you're taking notes. Write down things that don't make sense. Write down your ahas. Like, make sure you're actually engaged in this event, right? That's how you're going to get the most out of it. And then once we do our Q&A session, we are then going to talk about the ways for you to stay in the attitude of gratitude. Black Friday is coming up, and we have already launched our Black Friday deal. I'm super excited about it because it's probably the best deal that I've done this year. And that my course launched this year. So this is probably the best time for you to get into this energy full time and actually make this shit happen. I'm not one of those teachers that's going to talk to you about, you know, a whole lot of knowledge and not give you the tools to actually act on it. I want you guys to be transformed. I do not want anybody to get on a live event with me, hear what I say and be like, oh, that's great, but this is, you know, I don't know how I'm going to move forward. Absolutely not. Right. So let's get into the prayer real quick. It's going to be super quick. It's super simple. It's from a book called Happier Than God. If you follow me on socials, I actually posted it last night. But the prayer is very simple. I'm not going to close my eyes because I got this baby right here, but you can close your eyes if you like. And I am going to like trying to change the language a little bit since we are on a live event, right? But the prayer goes, thank you, God. Thank you for this life. Thank you for this live event. Thank you for my awareness. And thank you for the wonder of this moment. Thank you for everything that has ever happened, is happening now, and will ever happen. For all of it has produced the perfection of this next breath and the glory of who I am now going to be. So thank you. Let's get into it, baby. Intentions. Let's set some intentions. What do you guys hope to gain from this event? Why did you join this event? Why are you on my live right now? Why are you watching the replay? What is it that you would intend to gain? You didn't just get on this event just to be listening to somebody talk for 2 hours. There's something that you want to get out of this event, right? So I want you to put it in the comments what your intentions are. If you're on Zoom, you can put it in the chat here. If you're on YouTube, you can put it in the chat there, right? But just set your intentions. Whatever you intend to get out of this event is what you're going to get out of it. If you have no intentions, there will be nothing that you get out of it, right? So I want you guys to set your intentions. What do I want to get out of this event? Why did I join this event, right? What is it that I hope to take from this event, right? So I'm going to let you guys kind of think about your intentions. Like I said, there's a lot that we're going to talk about today. I got some bullet points again, okay? Because I didn't want to forget all of the good stuff that God has been speaking to me about over these last 7 days, right? So I typically do a live event every week. The holiday season is coming up, so they will slow a little bit, but I wanted to make sure that I take everything that God has been saying to me throughout this week and make sure I note it down so I can give you guys all of the gems. Okay. So again, structure. We're going to go over attitude of gratitude right now. We're going to do a visualization. We'll have Q&A, and then we'll have an opportunity for you to actually unlock the overflow that we speak about in this live event. All right, let's get into it. So attitude of gratitude, right? There's 2 pieces to this, right? We have the attitude piece and then we have the gratitude piece. Why am I talking about gratitude though? Why is gratitude important? Why do I have an event called Attitude of Gratitude, right? Why am I speaking about this around the Thanksgiving season, right? The holiday season, the giving and receiving season, right? Gratitude is, and oh, hold on. Let me get my book before I forget. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I got some things that God told me to read y'all too from this book, The Science of Getting Rich. This is not necessarily a book that I really recommend. It is a great book, but there are some things that I want to read out of it, right? But before, actually, let me just start with what I was thinking about, because this is very important. And this is the basis of kind of what we're talking about here. So in this book, this is The Science of Getting Rich, right? There's an actual chapter called gratitude in this book, right? I'm not going to read the whole chapter. I'm just going to read some tidbits from this one in the previous chapter. But it says, many people who order their lives rightly in all other ways are kept in poverty by their lack of gratitude. Having received one gift from God, they cut the wires which connect them with him by failing to make acknowledgement. Okay. A lot of us are doing a lot of things right? We're working on our business. We're working on our relationships. We're working on our mental health, our physical health. We're working on our spirituality. We're working on all of these things that create success in our lives, right? And we're doing all the things right. But for some reason, we're still not where we want to be, right? For some reason, we're still not earning the income or making the money we want to make. We don't have the relationships we like. The physical health is is kind of, iffy. The mental health is not improving. Like, we are doing all these things, but we're not getting the results that we want, right? And a lot of times it simply comes down to gratitude, right? Gratitude is the emotion, and this is something that I've become aware of these last 7 days, right? Gratitude is the emotion that connects us to God's kingdom. Right? Gratitude is the emotion that connects us to God's kingdom. So all of these events that I've been doing, I've been talking to you guys about your inheritance, right? I've been talking to you guys about this infinite supply of riches that God promised to you when you were created. There's nothing that you have to do other than be who you are, right? A spiritual being, right? Having a human experience to unlock this inheritance, right? So all of us have an inheritance. There's an infinity pie. There's a pie of infinity. Hold on. I just wanted to move this out the way, love. There's a pie of infinity, right? And every slice has somebody's name on it. There's an M. Simone slice. There's a Callie slice. There's a Taylor slice. There's a Susan slice. There's a Tammy slice. There's a James slice. There's a Houston slice. Everybody has their own slice of infinity. And nobody can take this slice from you. It is yours and yours only. Nobody else can claim your inheritance, okay? But what happens is we have been so caught up in this world, and we have been so caught up in the things that are not going right in our lives, that we have forgotten to give thanks for all the things that are going right, right? We have forgotten how to be grateful for the things that are going well. I made a video yesterday about this topic, and I was talking about anybody on here that feels like they're broke. Anybody on here that feels like they don't have enough money. They look in their bank account and it's like literally $0. You maybe have $10 in your bank account. Maybe you have negative. Maybe your balance is negative. Maybe you're just up to your neck in debt, right? What happens is we start to look at the outside world, and we start to see all the things that are not going well, right? We start to focus on all the things that we're dissatisfied with. And we'll talk about dissatisfaction a little bit later, right? But we'll start to look at all the things that we're dissatisfied with, and we'll start to give all of the things that we're upset about or not happy with all of our attention, right? And if we're so focused on the things that are not going right, how can we give gratitude for the things that are going well? If you can look at something and you can see why it's not going well, if you can look at something and see why you dislike it, you have to be able to also look at that same something and see why it's wonderful for you. It's good for you, right? The law of polarity states everything has an opposite: up, down, in, out, hot, cold, yin, yang. Like, everything has an opposite. So if you can fix your attention to look at something and say, this is terrible, this is wrong, this is bad, you have to be able by law to look at that same something and see why it's good, right? I talk about a lot the perspective of when it's raining outside, right? Your perception is everything. So when it comes to gratitude, Houston, I don't need you to play with that. Actually, let me just undo this for right now. When it comes to I lost my train of thought. When it comes to gratitude, right? The more that you look for things to be grateful for, the more that you're going to find things to be grateful for. I think it's Oprah's quote, and it's be thankful for what you have, you'll end up having more. If you focus on what you do not have, you'll never have enough, right? So gratitude is the act of being thankful, the feeling of gratitude, the feeling of appreciation for something, right? God is our supply. God is our employer. God is the source of everything that we could ever desire, want, be, do, or have. God is all. God is everything. And God is within each of us, okay? You cannot be separated from God. You and God are soulmates. Okay, so you know how you're like going out in your life trying to find your soulmate? God's your soulmate. You were actually born with your soulmate. You cannot be separated from God, right? You cannot be separated from your creator. You are always going to be connected to God, whether you know it or not. So how do we strengthen that connection? If God's promises that we'll have an infinite source of riches, if God promises us that everything that we could ever desire is already here and is already ours, all we must do is ask, believe, and receive, right? If that's the promise that God gives to us, how do we unlock it? Right? That's what this event is about. How do you actually unlock that promise? How do you unlock the riches? How do you unlock the inheritance? Right? And you do it through gratitude, through being grateful for what you already have. You can look at your bank account right now and you can see that you have no money in your bank account. And that can make you feel a certain type of way. Or you could get out of your phone and you could get into the present moment and see all of the money you're actually swimming in, all of the abundance you're actually swimming in. Just on this table alone, on even the table that these things are sitting on costs money. This phone costs money. This book costs money. This pen costs money. This remote for that TV costs money. The Wi-Fi to put on the TV costs money. This Aquaphor costs money. Everything in this room, everything in the room that you're sitting in costs money. Money paid for all of it. So you're so focused on the money you do not see in your bank account that you're literally negating all of the money that you're actually swimming in right now. And you're telling God that you don't have enough. You're giving all of your attention to your bank account that says that you don't have enough. So you're sending the signal, the feeling, the vibration to God that I don't have enough. I told you guys that, or I may not have told you yet on this event, but God says yes. God does not argue with you. God does not compromise. God does not reason. God says yes. If you tell God that you don't have any money in your bank account and you don't have enough, God says yes. Here is more no money in your bank account. Here is more not having enough. God responds to you, right? So when we talk about gratitude, right, when we talk about praise, have you ever talked to a child and praised them and see how they start to glow, how they start to light up? When you were a kid and you did that little, you said, hey, mom, watch this. And you did the backflip or you did the freaking jump or you did a cartwheel or something. And she was like, oh my God, baby, that's amazing. You felt amazing. It made you want to do more. It made you want to do more cartwheels. It made you want to show your mom more things. Animals, when you praise dogs, oh my gosh, it makes them want to do more for you. What else can I do for you? When you praise plants, have you guys heard the study or seen I think it's a video where they talk about how one plant was praised and given words of encouragement and the other plant was diminished and it was talked down upon, and how the plant that was praised grew like beautifully and brightly and the other plant literally died. Right? So why am I talking about that when I say praise or when I'm talking about gratitude? Right? Gratitude is what keeps you connected to God's riches. The more that you show God that you're grateful for what he has already given you, the more he's going to give you to be grateful for. It's like the law of gratitude is like the law of cause and effect, or the law of action and reaction, right? So let's go back to physics just a little bit. Let's go back to school just a little bit. Y'all remember that law, right, where they talked about action and reaction are equal and opposite? For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, right? That is the law of gratitude. The more gratitude you give, the more things you receive to be grateful for. The more that you show God that you're grateful for all that he has already provided you, the more that he gives you to be grateful for. Right? But a lot of us, again, have gotten so caught up in seeing and needing to see a certain amount in our bank account, or needing to see a certain amount of clients, or needing to see a certain amount of weight off that scale, or needing to see a certain amount of calories that they're eating. Like, we've gotten so conditioned to looking at the outside world and trying to figure out how we can change the outside world without changing the inside. Right? The outside world is a reflection of the inside. The more that you look for gratitude, the more that you look for things to be grateful for, the more you're going to have things to be grateful for. Right? But let's talk about attitude for a second, right? Because that's the beginning piece of it. Attitude of gratitude, right? I don't know about y'all, but people used to tell me when I was younger that I had a bad attitude. And I'm not going to agree or deny with that statement. I will say that my attitude wasn't the best. No, but people used to tell me that I had a bad attitude. And I didn't really understand what that truly meant until probably 2020, right? And I want to make sure that I give you guys a clear definition of attitude, because a lot of people think about attitude differently. There's a lot of different answers or there's a lot of different definitions that people use for the word attitude, but I'm going to give you the definition that I learned from my mentor. Okay. Attitude is the composite of our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions. Okay. Attitude is the composite of our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions. So attitude is actually an energy that we send out into the universe. And whatever energy we send out is the energy we're going to get back. It actually happens as we're sending it out. As we're sending it out, we take on the same amount of energy. Okay? So when I say thoughts, feelings, and actions, and I say gratitude, what I want you guys to develop is an attitude of gratitude. I want you to have thoughts of gratefulness, feelings of gratefulness, and actions of gratefulness. Because if you can combine your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions, or your attitude towards gratitude, the energy you're sending off is, I'm grateful for everything that I have. And the energy you're going to receive back is more to be grateful for. Right? So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how skillful you are. It doesn't matter how talented you are. It doesn't matter what people you know. It doesn't matter what school you went to. It doesn't matter what knowledge you have. If you are lacking gratitude in your life, you are never going to be satisfied with what it is you have. You're never going to have enough because you're so focused on what it is you do not have. And God, again, gives you what you ask for. If you ask God for no money to pay your bills, he's going to give you no money to pay your bills. Hold on, y'all. Where'd your passy go, love? What happened? Here you go. Moms be like, right? But in order for you to actually open your heart up, open your life up, for you to receive more, you have to be grateful for what it is you already have. Think about it in a relationship. You're in a relationship with somebody and they do, let me back up. You're in a relationship with somebody and you do the most for them. Like, you are always going out of your way for them. You're always thinking about them. You're always, taking time out for them. You're always moving things around for them, right? You're doing all of these things for them and then they don't appreciate it. They actually don't care at all. Like, it matters little to them. Are you going to give that person more? Are you going to keep doing more? Are you going to keep giving them more for them not to appreciate? Now, you might for a while, but at some point you're going to be like, why I'm doing more and more and they still don't appreciate it. God works the same way. If you continue to show God that you're not appreciative for what he has already given you, why would he give you more? Why would I give you more of something you already don't appreciate? You cannot give more of what somebody doesn't appreciate to get them to appreciate you. Yeah, we're talking about gratitude and we're talking about abundance, but this is also in relationships. I don't know who needs to hear this, but you cannot give people more of what they or what they do not appreciate and expect them to appreciate you. They don't appreciate what you're doing. Why would you continue to do it? Right? So it's all about you. It's all about your perspective. I gave you guys the perspective yesterday of all of the money you're actually swimming in. I didn't do anything to actually change your situation. I just changed your perspective. Right? So people ask me, well, how am I supposed to be grateful for all the things that I lack in my life? Well, who says you're lacking? What is it that you lack? Oh, I don't make enough money. Okay, well, you can pay your bills, right? Yeah, okay. Well, I don't have the car I want to drive, but you have a car you can drive, right? Yeah, okay. Well, I don't live where I want to live, but you have somewhere to live, don't you? Yeah, okay. So like it's I'm not getting you guys to change your situation. I'm just getting you to change the way that you're looking at it. Wayne Dyer used to say, change the way that you look at things, and the things that you look at will change. You can look at your bank account right now and see $5 in there, and there's two perspectives you can have. Oh my gosh, I have $5. I cannot do anything with this. I never have enough money. How am I supposed to do X, Y, and Z? Or, oh my gosh, I have $5 in my account. How can I circulate this money? What can I use this for? Or, oh my gosh, I have $5 in my account because I just circulated all of the other money in everything else that I'm sitting in. Oh my God, I have lights in my house this month. That's why I have $5 in my account. Oh my gosh, I paid the mortgage this month. I'm so grateful. That's why I have $5 in my account. Oh my gosh, my kids got new shoes for Christmas or for whatever holiday. That's why I have $5 in my account. It's just a perspective change. I didn't change the amount of money in your bank account. You still have $5. It's your choice. It's your attitude that matters. It's your attitude that's going to dictate how you actually move forward with the reality that you're in right now. Like your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions towards $5 in your bank account is what's going to come back to you. If you have thoughts of, oh my God, I never have enough, that's what's going to come back to you. If you feel lack and limitation, that's what's going to come back to you. If you're acting on a feeling of lack and limitation, that's what's going to come back to you. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to start to think about what you believe to be true. What do I believe about abundance? What do I believe about money? What do I believe about gratitude? Do I feel like I'm a grateful person? Is there more that I could be grateful for? Like, I want you guys to start to think truly about how you operate. Because in order for you to create lasting change, in order for you to actually unlock that inheritance and unlock the overflow, you got to be very, very aware of the overflow you're already living in. We do not live in lack and limitation. I don't know who told you that, but it's not true. It's a lie. They lied, babes. They lied. The way that I look at it, you either have an abundance of abundance or you have an abundance of lack. Either way, it's still an abundance. You have an abundance of things you want in your life, or you have an abundance of things you don't want in your life. But either way, baby, it's still abundance. It's still abundance. If you list to me all the things that are wrong in your life right now, I can sit with you and get you to flip your perspective to show you how it's good. Everything that has happened to you that you thought was the end of the world. Oh my God, I do not know how I'm gonna make it past this. Do you know you made it past? Do you know that it was probably the best thing that ever happened to you if you look back and see where it took you? The last 6 months of my life, y'all, woo, the outside world will have you thinking, girl, your life is what? You've hit rock bottom, right? But the life that I'm creating now and the confidence, the knowing, the trust, the oneness with God that I have now, oh, I wouldn't trade it for anything. That was the best thing that ever happened to me. For God to knock me clean off my high horse, I mean clean off, knock me all the way to the ground, grounded me. Said, baby, you've been putting things above me. I don't know what's going on, but let me humble you for a second. Let me settle you down. But I could have taken the last 6 months and I could have looked at all the ways that my life was not going the way I wanted it to go. I could have. I can start right now, actually. I'm not going to because that's insane. But I could start to see, you know what? Oh yeah, you're right. I don't have all the clients I want to have. I don't have the transportation that I want to have. I'm not living in a house that I could go down the list of all the things that are not going right in my life. But that does me no good. And that does God no good. God's not sitting up there like, oh yeah, she's knocking off all the things that I gave her that she's not appreciative of. Let me give her some more. No, that's not how God works. God gives you what you ask for. God gives you who you are. If you are ungrateful, God is going to give you more to be ungrateful for. That's just it. That's just how it works. The more that you give praise and gratitude to God for everything that he has already provided you, oh, he is open. He an open book, baby. Here's more. Here's more. Here's more. God is not holding your riches against you. God is not holding your abundance ransom. You are the only one keeping it from you. God is not keeping it from you. God wants you to have it. What else did I need to read in here? Hold on, y'all. Because something in here said, oh, they need to hear this. They need to hear this. Let me find it. Hold on, y'all. Let me find it. Where is it? Hold on, hold on, hold on. Okay, so there's two pieces that I'm about to read for y'all. Thank you for the likes. Oh, thank you. Hi D, how are you? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm all the way away from the damn screen. Um, but this is the thing. And thank you. Thank you, Dawn. I appreciate you, love. This is the thing. I know the world wants you to think that God, for some reason, and this is it's real crazy when you think about it. But I know the world wants you to think that being poor in your purse means being rich in God, but it don't. It doesn't. Being poor in your purse does not equate to being rich in God. What do I mean by that? God is all. God is everything. God is abundance. God is prosperity. God is ever present. God created us in his image. We are God's children. We can all agree on that. Okay, great. So at what point does God have all there is, have this infinite riches for us, this world that we couldn't even imagine, but we're down here struggling. We're struggling to pay our bills. We're struggling to live the life that we want to live. We're going to a job that we know is not good for us just for the sake of safety and security. Does that sound like God's children? Because I want y'all to think about this. When I say that God is your soulmate, God and you, I and my Father are one. You can never be separated from God. Okay. If no one's told you before, let me be the one to tell you. You can never, ever be separated from God. Ever, ever. You are soulmates. You are literally conjoined at the hip. You can never be separate from God. God is within all of us. God is everything. God is all. We are the vessel through which God works. This live event that I'm doing right now is not me doing it. This is God working through the vessel to give the information to you. If I'm the vessel that God gets to work through and I'm suppressing my vessel, I'm only asking for a little bit. I'm only going with the least amount. I'm only kind of stepping my toe in, not going all in. I am limiting God. God is within me and I am limiting his expression. God can only be expressed through me. Do you think God can express himself more with me wanting a $4 million house than he can express with a $2,000 a month apartment? Do y'all think there's different expression in that? Do you think that God can express himself more fully in a Maserati than he can in a Toyota Camry? Now, let me back up because I know y'all finna come from my head. I'm not saying that material riches are more important. I'm not saying that having a Camry or having a Maserati is more important than having a Camry. What I am saying is a lot of us are asking for less than what we actually want because we don't have the faith in ourselves and in God. We don't have the faith in his promise. God said, anything you ask me for, he said, before you even ask, I already know what you need. But we don't believe in that promise. So we ask God for less than what we truly want. Do you think God knows the difference between you wanting a $4 million house and a $400,000 house? God's up there like, you know what? Woo, baby. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that. That's a big one. Do you think that God is up there counting the pennies, counting the dollars? God is infinite. God is abundant. God has everything. God is everything. God is within you. All that there is within you. Right? But we have free will to choose. God says, yes, I have an infinite or infinite supply of riches for you, but you have to choose it. I'm not going to choose it for you. You have to choose it. Okay. Now you're like, well, I need something to back this up. Right. So I'm going to read two of these passages for y'all. What time is it? Oh, 10:40. We're doing good. So I'm going to read two of these passages for y'all. This is in The Science of Getting Rich. This is from How Riches Come to You. That's the chapter. It says, all that there is of possibility is seeking expression through men. God wants those who can play music to have pianos and every other instrument, and to have the means to cultivate their talents to the fullest extent. He wants those who can appreciate beauty to be able to surround themselves with beautiful things. He wants those who can discern truth to have every opportunity to travel and observe. He wants those who can appreciate dress to be beautifully clothed, and those who can appreciate good food to be luxuriously fed. Okay? That's number one. Now let me read the other piece. This is a difficult point with most people. They retain something of the old idea that poverty and self-sacrifice are pleasing to God. They look upon poverty as a part of the plan, a necessity of nature. They have the idea that God has finished his work and made all that he can make, and that the majority of men must stay poor because there is not enough to go around. They hold to so much of this erroneous thought that they feel ashamed to ask for wealth. They try not to want more than a very modest competence, just enough to make them fairly comfortable. God wants you to be more than comfortable. God did not create the heavens and the earth and all there is for you to have a meager and small amount of rations. That's not why he created it. Like, we are created in the image of the Creator. We are meant for more. That feeling that you have of dissatisfaction, that is God speaking through you. God is speaking through you. When you're dissatisfied with the house you live in, the car you drive, the job you have, the friends you have, the relationships, the mental health, the physical health, when you're dissatisfied with any piece of your life, it is literally God speaking through you. God is like, hey, this is small. This is too small for me. This is too small for us. We want more. I want more. You want more. There is absolutely nothing wrong with wanting more. In fact, it is God speaking through you. The fact that you want more is God expressing himself through you. God is always for expansion and expression. He is never for disintegration and lack. So that feeling inside of dissatisfaction is God saying, hey, I literally promised you the heavens and the earth. I promised you the kingdom of riches. What is this little bitty bit that we doing? What is this little bitty bit that we have? So when you're dissatisfied with the way that your life is, there's two things that I want you to do. One, I want you to be grateful for the dissatisfaction because it is God speaking through you. Okay, there's a difference between being dissatisfied and being ungrateful. Okay, dissatisfaction is not the same as being ungrateful. Dissatisfied means I want more. I'm not happy with where I am. Ungrateful means this is trash. I should have more. I don't know why I only have this much. They're very different. I want you to be dissatisfied with where you are, but I want you to be grateful for where you are because everything that you have has been given to you by God. And the only reason right now that you're feeling, again, dissatisfied is because God wants you to have more. God wants you to have more. There's so much more life out here. There's so much more money, so much more relationships, so many more friends, so much more business. There's so much more to life than we have been led on to believe. And every time you get that feeling of, oh my gosh, I don't have enough, or you get that feeling, you're like, damn, I'm not really happy with where I'm at. It's because God wants you to move. God wants you to go further. God wants you to go forward. Have you guys heard the analogy of like the snake or like the fish, right? Like when you go to the pet store, and you get a snake or you get a fish and you take it home, you're going to get a tank, right? You're going to get the environment that the animal needs to live in, right? But the tank is only so big, right? That snake or that fish is only going to grow as big as the tank. It is not going to grow or outgrow the tank. It cannot outgrow its shell. It cannot outgrow its environment. So God, we are the tank. We are the environment that God works through. God cannot expand himself farther than we are expanded. God cannot do more than we allow him to do. So when you get a snake from the pet store and you put it in a tank, that snake is only going to grow as big as that tank. You could take that same snake though, or that same fish and put it in the ocean or put it in the wild, and it will grow to enormous sizes. Why is that? Why is it the same fish or the same snake only grows to a certain dimension in this little tank in your house, but you can put that same snake or that same fish in the wild and it will grow enormously? That is the same way that God works. Each one of us is a vessel through which God expresses himself. And depending on how big our capacity to receive is, depending on how big our vessel is going to depend on how big God can express himself. God cannot express himself to millions of dollars if you are only giving him a vessel of $100,000. He can't express millions if you're not giving him the vessel to be expressed in that way. Does that make sense? Right? So I want you guys to understand that it's not, God is within all of us, and God has promised all of us an infinite supply of riches. The law of infinite supply says, as long as there is a demand, there will be an infinite supply to feed that demand. Any mom on here that's breastfed has used the law of infinite supply. As soon as that baby came out and demanded milk by latching on to your nipple, the law of infinite supply kicked in. As long as that baby demanded milk, milk came. I breastfed my son for 9 months. As long as he demanded milk, the milk was supplied. There was an infinite supply of milk for the demand. As soon as I cut the demand off, the milk stopped. Right? So the law of infinite supply, the demand is your gratitude. The demand is your consciousness. The demand is your attitude of gratitude. Remember, I told you guys, attitude is thoughts, feelings, and actions. The demand is the thoughts, the feelings, and the actions of gratitude. The supply is an infinite overflow of things for you to be grateful for. It's literally the law, guys, right? So what time are we at? Oh, we're at 10:48. Okay. So let me check my notes, because I ain't really gonna looking at my notes. So let me just make sure I really talked about everything. Yeah, I did for the most part. But this is the thing that I want you guys to remember, right? This is what I want you to do. And this is what I'm going to help you do closer to the end of this event. But anytime you're looking at the way that, let me back up, the way that you are going to receive more in your life, the way that you're going to unlock your overflow of abundance, right? The way that you're actually going to receive your inheritance, right, is going to come from practicing gratitude, right? How are you going to practice gratitude, right? What I want you guys to do is I want you to create what's called an inner sense of plenty. And this is what I was talking about yesterday on my live. In my video. I want you to create an inner sense of plenty. What is an inner sense of plenty? Right? Not an outer sense, but an inner sense, right? An inner sense of plenty is a feeling of having all that you desire right now. This took me a while to grasp. I first heard about this concept in April of this year, and I thought I had it, but I realized I really didn't, because I was still allowing what I did or did not see in my outside world to dictate how I was feeling. But when you create an inner sense of plenty, it's all about reveling in and marveling in all of the abundance that you're actually living in right now. A lot of us have equated money in a bank account to prosperity, but that's not how it works. Money in your bank account is not prosperity. Prosperity is the feeling that you have when your money is spent, when your money is circulated. Me having $100,000 in my bank account doesn't make me feel prosperous, but me circulating that $100,000 to invest in my business, to invest in charities, to buy property, to buy first class tickets to go to whatever country for whenever, to invest in employees, right? To invest in mentorship. That gives me the feeling of prosperity. But just having the money sitting in my bank account does not create the feeling of prosperity. So when I say I want you to create an inner sense of plenty, I want you to go around your house and I want you to look at all of the plenty and abundance you're literally swimming in right now. If you're listening to this live event on a computer, Plenty. If you're listening to it on your phone, plenty. You got Wi-Fi, plenty. You have electricity, plenty. You have water, plenty. You got plates in your cabinet, plenty. You got food in your fridge, plenty. You got clothes in your closet, plenty. You have toilet tissue, plenty. You have children, plenty. You have toys, plenty. We literally live in abundance. We are swimming in abundance. If you go outside, there is thousands and hundreds and thousands and hundreds and thousands of trees, leaves, abundance. We have an abundance of air. We have an abundance of light. We have an abundance of the sun. We literally cannot get more of the sun. So these are the things that I want you guys to think about. When I say create an inner sense of plenty, you have so much to be grateful for right now. And the mere fact that you don't see, or the mere fact that you're not looking for things to be grateful for, is the only reason why you don't feel that way. The only reason you don't feel grateful for what you have right now is because you're not looking for what it is you could be grateful for. You are focused on what it is you do not have and do not see. That is the only reason why you don't feel grateful. I don't care what you think your problem is. I don't care what you think you lack in life. There are only two things that are keeping you small: your lack of awareness and limitations of thought. I don't care what your problem is. You could put it to me and you could put it through chat TBT and say, chat GBT, tell M. Simone what my problem is so thoroughly that she can't be confused. I don't care what you give me. You only have two problems. I don't care what you think your problem is. You only have two problems: lack of awareness and limitation of thought. You lack the awareness and you are limited by your thoughts. I don't care what you believe your problem is. I'll put money on this, baby. I'll put anything on it. I don't care what your problems are. You can give me your problem right now and I can break it all the way down to those two things: lack of awareness or limitations of thought. That's it. Right? So when we talk about gratitude, when we talk about having an attitude of gratitude, remember I told you guys, attitude is your thoughts, your feelings, your actions. It's an energy that you send out that you also take back on as soon as you send it out. Thoughts, feelings, and actions of gratitude. Thoughts of gratitude. Oh my God, when you wake up, I'm so grateful for this day. I'm so grateful for this day. Thank you, Lord, for this day that you have given me. Let me rejoice and let me be glad in it. Thoughts. If you're thinking about how grateful you are, baby, you can only feel gratitude. You can only feel the emotion of gratitude. You feel calm. You feel confident. You feel trusting. You have faith. Gratitude creates faith, because the more that you're grateful for, the more that you expect God to bring you more to be grateful for. And that expectation is your faith. The more you're grateful for, the more you're going to expect God to bring great things to you. The more that you expect great things to be brought for you is the faith. Faith is your expectation. It's your trust that I don't see it, but I know based on what God has always done for me, based on what he's doing right now. Remember that prayer that I said earlier? I'm thankful for everything that has ever happened, is happening now, and will ever happen. I don't care what it looks like. It may look like your life is falling apart. Y'all, my life fell apart for the last 6 months. I mean, God knocked me right off my high horse. And it looked like my life was falling apart. But I knew, I had the faith, I had the gratitude to know that everything that is happening for me is happening for me. Nothing is happening to you. All I'm getting you to do is shift your perspective. Your day is the same exact thing. You have the same exact circumstances, same exact events. If you can change your attitude, everything will change. I'm not telling you to go make more money. I'm not telling you to spend more, spend less. I'm not telling you to do anything other than see all of the good that's in your life currently. That's it. That's all. I just want you to become aware of all of the what did I say? Lack of awareness and limitations of thought. If you can expand your awareness, if you can say, oh shit, she's right. Yeah, I may not have any money in my bank account, but I'm sitting in the money right now. I'm literally sitting in the money. I literally just washed my body in the money. I'm literally drinking the money. Like, money is the concentrated essence of the things that we desire. So money itself Yeah, no, that's not going to give you the feeling of prosperity. But when you circulate that money, when you're able to pay it forward, when you're able to give more than you take, you're unlocking the doors to the overflow of your abundance. I promise you guys, I'm not going to come over here and talk about something I don't know about. I was watching one of my the first lesson in my new program. I was just watching it yesterday. And I was like, I said in the program, you'll never hear me talk about anything I do not know about. If M. Simone is talking, she knows what she's talking about. If I'm talking, I know what I'm talking about. I don't talk about anything I don't know about. This right here, I know about this from my own experience, from my clients' experiences, from my mentors' experiences, from what I've read. I know what I'm talking about. And you know what I'm talking about too, because you're still here. Something in you is like, she knows what she's talking about. Let me see what she has to say. That's God. The God in me is speaking to the God in you. There's God in all of us. God is in all of us. The God in me is speaking to the God in you. Okay, so where we at? Okay, so we're about 10:57. Let me see. So now I don't know. I think I'll put the link for the visualization in here, but I don't think I'm gonna do it just because I don't think I'm gonna be able to do it with you guys. And I typically like to have the sound like coming through the computer. Right. But I did I think I talked about most of everything. This is the other thing that I do want to talk about briefly, right? If you can find something to be grateful for. Actually, let me back up. The mere fact that you opened your eyes this morning, the mere fact that God woke you up today to be on this event is more than enough for you to be grateful for. I don't care what your bank account says. I don't care what's in your fridge. I don't care if you're homeless. I don't care if you're carless. I sold my car, you guys, to change my life. That's essentially what I did. I sold my only vehicle of transportation, mode of transportation, to change my life. And I was so grateful for the 11 years that I had my car. And when I sold it, I was grateful to the people that were taking the car. I was grateful for the funds that they then gave me. And then you know what I did with those funds? I reinvested them in myself. So when the money went into my account and then the money came out, I could have sat there and been like, you know what? I don't have any money. I literally had that money and I spent it just that quick. That could have been my perspective. But my perspective was, I'm so grateful that I had the asset to trade in, to get the cash, to invest in myself. Because I know that the life that I'm about to create and teach other people how to create is far more important than the money that I needed to do it. I want you guys to get into and we won't talk too much on this live about it, but I will talk about it briefly, right? There is and maybe I'll talk about it now and I'll probably bring it up a little bit later because you guys do know a little bit later, I am going to have you make a decision, right? But there's a very big difference between the use value of something and the cash value of something. A lot of us get very, very caught up in the cash value of something, the actual number that something cost, right? So for example, if you want to join a mentorship program, the mentorship program costs $10,000. That's how much it costs, right? That's the cash value of the program. But what is the use value, right? What are you getting from that program? Yeah, you're giving $10,000, but you're getting what? The awareness, the release of limitation, the community of people who are also in this space with you, the ability to create the life of your dreams, the security to know that everything is within you, nothing is outside of you, the confidence to step out on your dreams, the faith to take big risk, the reward that comes with big risk, I can really go on and on and on and on, right? But we get so caught up in what we have to give We get so caught up in what we're going to lose or what we're going to be separated from. We get so caught up in what we have to give. This is the Thanksgiving season. This is the season of giving thanks. I had this event, Attitude of Gratitude, right before Thanksgiving because I want to get you guys in the attitude of being grateful for everything that's happening for and to you at this moment. Everything that is happening for you. Everything. I know it feels like it's happening to you. I know it feels negative. It feels like your life is falling apart, but it is happening for your good. You are going to look back and see how much you actually grew and how much your life actually blossomed into what you wanted it to be from this experience. Right? So I want you to understand that you must give in order to receive. When you're planting, when you're making a garden or creating a garden, you have to plant the seed before you can reap the fruit. Y'all do understand that. That's with everything. Give, and it shall be given unto you. Ask, and you shall receive. You have to give first. If the farmer doesn't plant the apple seeds in the ground, he cannot reap apples. If you do not plant the seeds of gratitude, you cannot reap things to be grateful for. But you have to give first. You have to give first. If you don't want to give, but you want to receive, where are you going to receive it? You don't have anywhere to receive it. If your hands are closed because you're holding on to what you have, how are you going to receive? How is God going to give you more if your fists are closed? Right? Not my favorite saying, but one of my sayings is closed mouths don't get fed and closed fists don't get bread. You have to release what you have in expectation that it's going to come back to you. The money that you guys circulate, on your money, it says, in God we trust. We are trusting that when we circulate this money, God is going to send it back to us, and he will. That's how it works. God is the supply. That's why the money says, in God we trust. It doesn't say in man we trust, right? But a lot of us have put our trust in man for our source of supply. Man is a middleman. Your employer, middleman. Your business, middleman. Your parents, middleman. Wherever you get your money from, middleman. The money comes from God. It's God's money. God is the supply. And then you choose the middleman through which you receive your supply. I am choosing a business. I am choosing my school. I am choosing mentorship. I am choosing to be a leader. That's how I'm choosing to receive my abundance. But I used to choose a job with a security and a pension. You guys do understand that your job can lay you off tomorrow. There is no security in the job. The security is in you. The security is in God. But we put our security in outside forces, and then we are confused when the outside forces crumble, and then our security has crumbled as well. God is your only source of supply. And the way for you to tap into God, the way for you to get God to hear your prayers is through gratitude. You don't call God and start begging. That's not the energy. What did God say? I think Jesus said, you believe when you pray. You believe in what you pray for while you pray, and it comes to you. You're not begging God. You're not beseeching God. You're not like, God, I don't have it. Please give it to me. You're saying, God, thank you for all that you have provided for me. And thank you for the increase. You're thanking God. And the more that you thank him for what you have, the more that you praise him for the good that he has already supplied to you, the more he's going to supply. But it's about being grateful for where you are currently. I don't care where you are. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care what car you don't have, what house you don't have, the relationship, the money. It does not matter. There's always something to be grateful for. Always. You woke up this morning. Hello. God didn't have to do that. You know, it's some people that didn't wake up today. They just didn't wake up. They literally went to bed last night and did not wake up. You did. That's something to be grateful for. I don't care if you only got 3 more days with your lights on and before they cut them off. That's something to be grateful for. I don't care if your car is about to get repossessed. That is something to be grateful for. Because some of us be putting too much emphasis and too much praise into material things anyway. So when God strips them away from you and forces you to find him and focus on him, you will see that that was the best thing that ever happened to you. For me to leave a relationship and have to move back in with my parents and have to rely on other people and to sell my car to do what I needed to do. I could look at that as, oh my God, my life is falling apart. Nothing is together. I don't have what I need. But I already know the sacrifices that I make and the reward that comes from those sacrifices. There is going to have to be something that you sacrifice. Hold on, y'all. You are going to have to sacrifice something, right? A lot of us want new clothes. We want a better wardrobe, but we still holding on to the old clothes. Give and it shall be given unto you. It's not given unto you and then you give. That's not how it works. You have to give first. As soon as you give, God conspires with you to bring you more. As soon as money leaves your account, God is on the back end bringing more money into your account. The void will always be filled, right? The universe abhors a vacuum. What do I mean by that? As soon as I send out energy, I take on the same amount of energy. As soon as I send out an attitude of gratitude, I take on more gratitude. Like, you have to give in order to receive. Even in your kitchen, when you turn the water on and you want hot water, you got to let that water flow. You have to give. You have to turn the water on and it has to flow out and cycle until it gets to the water you're looking for. But a lot of us want to receive before we give. If you're a farmer trying to receive before you give, you're going to be a poor farmer. We must give first and give in the spirit of thanksgiving, give in the spirit of gratitude, attitude of gratitude. That's what this is about. It's about creating an attitude of being grateful. God woke you up this morning. God supplied you with gas to put in your car. God has fridge and groceries in your fridge. God allowed you to pay your power bill so you could cook the groceries, make the food. There is so much for you to be grateful for. But if you continue to focus your God-given power on what you do not have, you will continue to see lack and limitation in your world. And there is no such thing. Even the things that you're looking at that you lack is abundance. It's just an abundance of things you do not want. Okay? Sorry, y'all. I had to drink my green juice, a little cucumber and some apples. Right? So what time? Okay, so we're at 11:09. So I got some questions. Do you guys have any questions? So if you have questions, please drop them in the Zoom or drop them on the YouTube. If you're on TikTok, you can also drop them in the comments. I'm gonna go back and see. Sorry about that. I'm gonna go back and see what's happening. Hello, Callie girl. Let me see. Okay, just make sure I didn't. Thank you, Dawn. I love you, love. Okay, great. Right? Okay. So I had a couple questions and I wrote them down because I got some questions over these last few days, right? So how can practicing gratitude improve my mental health and overall well-being? So this is a really great question, right? So when it comes to practicing gratitude, and I'm going to give you guys some tips about how you can practice gratitude, right? But when it comes to practicing gratitude, right? Gratitude, again, is the act of being thankful or the emotion of thankfulness or appreciation for something, right? So when you speak about your health, especially your mental health, right? Gratitude, well, actually, let me back up. So a lot of people fall in the anxiety and the depression category, right? And I'm talking about this from a mental standpoint. I'm talking about it from a mind standpoint, right? I'm speaking about it from the actual cause of anxiety and depression. I'm not speaking about it as a mental illness because I don't like to use that terminology, but I am speaking about it from the mental perspective. I'm also not going to negate anybody's experience. I just want to give you another perspective. Okay. When it comes to anxiety and when it comes to depression, right? These are issues of the mind. Anxiety and depression, these are issues of the mind, okay? Anxiety is worrying about the future. Anxiety is worrying about the future, okay? Thinking negatively about the future. Depression is worrying about the past. Depression is thinking negatively about the past. Okay. So when you talk about gratitude, what gratitude does and why it helps with your mental health is it gets you out of worrying about the future. It gets you out of worrying about the past, and it gets you present in all the good that is here. You can't see the present good because you're focused on the future or the past. Right? What I want you to do and what gratitude does is it grounds you, it centers you, it brings you into the now. The future has not happened yet. Ain't no need to worry about that shit. The past is already gone. Definitely ain't no need to worry about that. But if you can become present and you can look at and marvel in all of the things that you have to be grateful for, you will absolutely improve your mental health because you're no longer keeping yourself entrapped in thinking about the future or thinking about the past. You are focusing on the present and all the good that's happening for you in this moment. So when you speak of well-being, absolutely, anxiety is actually the opposite of well-being, right? Anxiety is like, and you may not be physically shaking, but anxiety, you're shaking inside. That's what's happening. You're not calm. You're not at ease. Okay. So when it comes to being anxious or when it comes to having anxiety, are you going to be able to receive if you're anxious? If you're shaking, you can't receive, right? Because you're going to be dropping what it is that God is trying to give to you. But when you practice gratitude and when you become present, you're calm, you're collected, and then you can receive with ease. A lot of us are trying to be open to receive, but we're anxious. We want to know how it's going to happen. We want to know when it's going to happen. We don't see it. Okay, now I'm worrying about the future. Well, I got bills to pay. That's not the energy of receiving, right? So when it comes to well-being, well-being is the opposite of anxiety. How do you get to a state of well-being? Awareness, knowledge, understanding, hopping on these live events, enrolling in courses that work on the awareness and the limitation of thought, right? So I hope that answers your question. Let's see. What are some effective daily exercises or rituals I can incorporate into my routine? This is great. So when it comes to gratitude and exercises, right? One thing that I like to do is, well, there's a couple of things, right? So when it comes to gratitude, I love music. Music always gets me in the mood, right? Gets me grounded and centered in things to be grateful for. I listen to a song called Gratitude every single day. Every single day. I listen to Gratitude by Londrelle, Londrelle, every single day, right? So you can listen to music. You can also, there's a video that I watch too. Well, let me back up. When I wake up, I do my prayer. So praying, that's a way to stay in gratitude, right? Praying in the feeling of already having what you want and saying thank you. Not asking God, where I'm coming today to you to ask, or I'm coming to you today to ask, blah, blah, blah. No, thank you, God, for. Right? You can also write it. You can do you have a gratitude journal where you actually write out your gratitude every day. I used to do that in the beginning. I'm in a place now where my state of gratitude is pretty constant, so I don't need to write it down, but you can write it out. There's a video that I also watch. Me and my son watch it every morning. It's about 5 minutes. It's a grateful day. And it just reminds me that I woke up this morning. God gave me another opportunity to prove my dominion over any problems that may arise. And it reminds me to be grateful for this opportunity, right? So you could do that. Meditating. When I meditate, right, a lot of times I'm saying thank you. In my visualizations, a lot of times I'm saying thank you, right? So there's a lot of ways and practices that you can use for gratitude. But what I want you to do before you get into practicing, before you get into action, before you get into trying to do something, right? I want to get you into a self-awareness space. I want you to know what you believe to be true right now. How do I even feel about gratitude? Do I practice gratitude? Do I feel like I have things to be grateful for? Am I a grateful person? I want you to do the self-awareness first, because the way that you see yourself is going to be reflected in everything that you do. So I don't talk too much about doing, even on my live events, right? I talk to you guys a lot about self-awareness, and we may talk about, embodiment, but we don't get into that on here. I don't get into that. I don't even want you guys to think about that. I want you to think about, what do I even believe to be true right now? Do I believe that God is within me? Do I believe that the kingdom of his riches is offered to me? Do I believe that I'm ungrateful? Do I believe that I'm grateful? When I was younger, I was told all the time that I was spiteful and I was selfish. And that's something that I believed about myself. And I started to have an attitude of someone who is spiteful and selfish, right? So I don't want you guys to get into the doing piece. I want you to get into, who am I? What do I even believe right now? Right? I want you to unlock your awareness, right? The lack of awareness, that's the number one problem. I want to help you remedy that piece. But those are some things that you could do as far as exercises for gratitude. Can gratitude help with overcoming negative emotions or challenging situations? Absolutely. Right? So when it comes to gratitude, right, and negative emotions, gratitude is a positive emotion. And you cannot think two things at the same time. You cannot have two thoughts occupy your mind at the same time. So if you're thinking of gratitude, if you're thinking of things to be grateful for, you cannot also at the same time think of what's going wrong in your life. You can only do one or the other. Right? So yes, absolutely. Gratitude can help you with your negative emotions, because gratitude brings you into the present. It brings you closer to or focused on what it is that's going right. And it has you actually see the good that's happening and get you into a positive vibration, right? Situations, everything has good in it. Everything has bad in it. Everything has good in it. Everything has bad in it. If you can look at something and see why it's bad, you can look at that same something and see why it's good. Yeah, I could have looked at the situation of me leaving the relationship that I was in and having to move in with my parents as a bad thing, as a negative. But I looked at that as a place for me to rest and recover, a place for me to get my grounds, my bounds together. And that flipped it immediately into a positive, right? So absolutely, gratitude can help you with any emotions that you have, especially negative emotions. And then how do I maintain gratitude when I'm feeling stressed, anxious, or overwhelmed? So this is pretty similar, but you wanna get to a constant state of gratitude. How do you get to a constant state of gratitude? By practicing gratitude, right? So you can even put little stickies around your house, like, what am I grateful for? Or thank you, right? You can have, when you're feeling stressed, right? Take your attention off of what's stressing you and put it on what you love and what's going well in your life, right? Because you can only, again, focus on one thing at a time. If you're thinking about how stressed you are, you can't think about how well your life is going. You can only do one or the other. So what I would suggest is, anytime that you feel stressed, one, you have to be aware of it. And that's why I say awareness is key, right? I need you to be aware of when you're feeling that way so that you can switch into gratitude, right? But the awareness comes first, right? The awareness comes first. You can't change a thing unless you know a thing. You can't escape from a prison if you don't know you're in a prison. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, and I think that's pretty much the same. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, so those are the questions that I had. Does anybody else have any more questions? Let me see. Let me see if anybody put anything in the YouTube. In the chat. No, not yet. Okay, great. Okay, let me just make sure we got it. Yep, produces faith. And we talked about that. We talked about everything. Yep. Okay. So the last thing that I want to talk to you guys about before we get into decision making, right, is what we've talked about over the last hour and a half-ish is gratitude. And we've been talking about why gratitude is so important. We've been talking about how you can unlock the riches, the overflow of abundance that is promised to you through gratitude, right? We've been talking about attitude, okay? I want you guys to have an attitude of gratitude, right? So right now, what I'm doing is I'm making you aware of what your attitude is currently. I'm making you aware of how you feel about gratitude currently. I'm making you aware of what you believe to be true for yourself. Self-awareness is always going to be the first step in any process that I take you through, because I cannot get you on the road to where you want to go if you do not know where you are currently. I talk to you guys all the time about my GPS. If I want to go to Walmart, my GPS needs to know specifically which Walmart I want to go to. But before I can get on the road to that Walmart, and before my GPS even asks me about the Walmart, it needs to know my location. It needs to know where I am currently. If I do not give my GPS my location, I am going nowhere fast. So I will always start with self-awareness with you guys. I will always start with, what do you believe to be true about yourself? Because in order for me to get you on the road to what you want to believe, I need to know, and you need to know, what you believe currently, right? And that's the most important piece. So when it comes to attitude, right, again, your attitude is an energy that you send off. It's your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. So when we talk about an attitude of gratitude, thoughts of gratitude, waking up in the morning, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful for this day. You know, I get to go out and I get to pursue my dreams. I get to build this business. I get to do X, Y, and Z. If you're thinking about how grateful you are, or things to be grateful for, you're going to feel the emotion of gratitude. Your feelings are attached to your thoughts. You cannot think thoughts, positive thoughts, and have negative emotions attached to them. It doesn't work. If you're thinking about positivity, you're going to be feeling the vibration of positivity, right? So if you're thinking, I'm so grateful for this day, you're going to be feeling gratitude. If you're thinking and feeling from a place of what you desire, you're going to act from a place of what you desire. If you're thinking and feeling from a place of like how great your life is right now, you're going to act from that place. And that's when your attitude is solid. When you're thinking, you're feeling, and you're acting from a place of gratitude, the riches are going to overflow into your life. You're going to be like, yo, where has this been my whole life? Right? But you're connecting to the source through gratitude. The way that you do that is to show God what you have right now that you're grateful for. A lot of us start to compare what we got to other people. If you're comparing what you have to somebody else, of course it's not going to be enough. You can't compete with somebody else. You cannot compete with the God in them. You don't know what they had to go through to get to that success. All you see is the success on the outside. You're so focused on what they have, it's amplifying the lack in your life. Give your attention back to your plate. Give your attention back to God and back to all the things that you actually have in your life right now. I don't care if you just have a place to stay. You have a place to stay. I don't care if you just have lights for another 30 days. You have lights for another 30 days. I don't care if the repo man has been knocking at your door. He ain't came to pick it up yet. That's something for you to be grateful for. I don't care what number is or is not in your bank account. You're swimming in money right now. You're swimming in money right now. That house you're sitting in, you're swimming in money. The food in your fridge and your pantry, abundance. You're swimming in abundance. Money paid for all of it. And that money came from God. God is the source of your supply. You may have a middleman, but God is the source. So give your glory, give your praise, give your acknowledgement, give your thanks to the source. And the source will absolutely find more channels to bring you more good through. If you're grateful for what I'm already giving you, oh, I'm going to find ways to give you more. Right? So the takeaways for this event is, you want to start to operate from a place of everything that you have came from God. You want to start to operate from a place of abundance, right? From an inner sense of plenty. You want to start to operate from a place of love, right? Hold on one second, y'all. All right, my fault. But yeah, so the things that I want you to take away, right? Attitude of gratitude. The more that I can find to be grateful for, the more God is going to provide me things to be grateful for. Right? The more that I can praise God for all that he has already done, the more he's going to do for me. Okay? The more gratitude that I have, the more gratitude that I have for the things that I have currently, the more I'm going to expect good things. The more I expect good things, the more that I have faith in God to provide me those good things. And the more faith I have, the more life that I'm going to be able to live, right? So, when it comes to next steps, right? Because I'm all for live events, I'm all for giving you guys information, but I'm more for transformation, right? I'm not a teacher or a leader who wants you to leave and not be transformed. I'm not a teacher or a leader who wants you to leave and not have the tools to actually get where you want to go, right? I am very much so, I want you to move forward. I want you to take the information that you learned today and actually implement it. I want you to actually do something with it, right? So I talked to you guys earlier and I told you that God, of course, is speaking to you through me. The God in me is speaking to the God in you. Okay. So if you heard nothing else that I said this whole event, right, I want you to hear what I'm going to say next. Okay. You can absolutely take the information, the notes that you took. You can absolutely take that information and put it into practice, right? But what I have learned and what I have found is that 9 times out of 10, 9.9 times out of 10, the information that you just learned today is just going to sit in the back of your mind, right? You're going to think about it today, maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. But after that, it's just going to be a distant memory for you, right? And you're going to go back to living your life the way that you were living it before getting on this event. That's what I am here to intercept, okay? Because what I know for sure is I know the benefits of being able to take all of the information, all the knowledge that somebody has, and have it in a concise, readable, implementable guide, right? I took 4.5 years to really change my life the way that I wanted to change it, because I was trying to do things on my own. I wanted to read all the books. I wanted to just go on YouTube and get the free stuff. I wanted to do like the little small free events like this, right? I wanted to see like what's the least that I could put in to get the most out. That used to be my frame of mind, right? And even me now literally saying that out loud, it makes so much sense as to why I didn't have the change in the results that I wanted, right? But now that I have reinvested in a mentor, right, who has given me the guideline and the blueprint that I follow, it has made everything so much easier, right? So what I like to do is I want people to use a system. I want you to save yourself some time, some energy, and some money. Absolutely. Could you go figure out how to do this on your own? 100%. But you are going to be wasting your time, you are going to be wasting your energy, and you are going to be wasting your money, right? Because it's a lot easier, or it's a lot more difficult to take all of the parts of things that you have to learn to make something happen than to actually take a guide that already has everything together and implement it. Okay, so I said all that to say, the Great School of Life is enrolling students. Okay, so if you have not heard me talk about the Great School of Life before, I will very, very briefly. So previous to a couple months ago, my company was Mindful Success Methods, and it was focused on mindful success methods. It was focused on the mind. And although the mind is a very crucial part of the manifestation process and of the process that I teach, it is not the most important, right? The most important piece is the spirit piece. The most important piece is understanding your oneness with God. That is the most important piece, right? So I created the Great School of Life, right? And life stands for living in spirit for eternity, right? So the school teaches you how to live in a God, Christ consciousness for the rest of your life. What does that mean, though? What does it mean to have the Christ consciousness, right? Knowing that everything is already done. The trust, the confidence, and the faith in yourself and in God. The actual unlocking of those riches that God has promised you, right? From a place of joy, from a place of expectation, and from a place of enthusiasm. Not from a place of taking from others or a place of lack or a place of I got to get mine because I don't want nobody else to take it, right? So the first course or the first program of study that we've launched is Thinking from the End, right? And this is a course that it's very holistic. This is the first course that is out, and this is probably the most transformational that I've seen, right? I've done a lot of courses. I've been in this industry for a good bit. So I know what other courses are doing and promoting, right? And I think that they're great for the people that they're great for. But for people who really want to take what they've learned today and actually create a new life, right? I'm not talking about just more money. I'm not talking about just more clients. I'm not talking about just a better relationship. I'm not talking about better health, just better health. I'm talking about all of it. I'm talking about teaching you how to think from your goals already achieved, thinking from the life that you actually want to live, right? So what does this really look like? Okay. The Great School of Life is a non-traditional education institution. You are going to be going back to school to study you. I know we've gotten so caught up in the outside world and it wants us to study strategies and business and marketing and all these other things, and they're great. And there is a time and a place for that. But we have gotten ahead of ourselves trying to figure out how to do something different when we need to know how to be something different. It's not about doing something different, because if you're doing different things in the same being or the same state of being that you've always been, you're going to get the same results. If you do things differently, but you're still in the lack and limitation mindset, you're still in the I don't have enough mindset, it doesn't matter what you're doing because you're still operating in the spirit of lack. Okay? Right? So this is a course and a program for you to study you. If you've gone to a university, I went to a university, I went for 3 years for a 4-year degree, right? And I got loans on loans on loans. And that degree, what did it help me do? It helped me get a job that I didn't like. It helped me do work that I was not fulfilling, and gave me 2 days off on the weekends. I'm not saying there's not a place for college and university. What I am saying is you studying you before you do that will save you time, energy, and money. Okay. So the Thinking from the End program is a 6-month course. You have a lesson for 24, you have 24 lessons for 24 weeks, right? Each week you'll have a new lesson. Okay. It starts out with I am. I'm going to teach you about you. And it goes all the way through Z to gratitude. I'm going from start to finish. Okay. 24 weeks. You also have every week, we have a live session together. So I actually teach a session live with you. So this is where you can come and get any questions you have answered. You can also come and it may be a topic that we've already talked about before, or it may be a new topic, right? So this is your chance to actually interact with the other students. This is your chance to interact with me. This is your chance to get into the energy live. Okay. And then you also have your community. I don't know about y'all, but it's so much easier for me to stay on track and think about the goals that I want to achieve when I have other people who have the same type of goals. It is so much easier for me to stay focused on my dreams when I have dreamers in my corner. It's a lot more difficult to create the life of my dreams when I'm the only person around me that sees the vision. I'm telling you guys from experience. I'm helping you save yourself some time, some energy, and some money. Yeah, you can go ahead and do it on your own, but the support is so necessary. The guide is so necessary. I've read 20 books 20 books over the last 4 years about this material. I've watched countless of YouTube videos. I've done countless of programs, right? So what I've done is I've taken everything that I've learned and I've put it into a very concise and easy to follow guide for you. So you don't have to go figure it out on your own. I've already done that piece. I've already done the trial and error for you. You don't have to do it, right? It's already proven the system. You just have to follow it. Okay. So you have Thinking from the End. It's a 24-week course. You're going to have the course and the workbook. Even when you finish, when you graduate from the program, which we will have a ceremony, when you graduate from the program, you still have access to it. So 6 months from now, when you're the new version of yourself, if you're ready to level up to that next version, you still have the course and you still have the workbook. It is yours for life. This is a non-traditional education institution. We don't take the education when you leave. You keep the education. You can keep it. So when we talk about cash value and use value, you can use it 5 times if you like throughout your life to level up, right? So you have the course, you have the weekly mentorship with me, 24 weeks, and you have the community. Now, in the spirit of Thanksgiving, in the spirit of the holidays, in the giving season, right? Although I do already believe that the cash value the use value far outweighs the cash value for this program, I want to give back to you guys some more. I want to give you some money towards your tuition because that's how important this is to me, that you enroll in this course and you create the life of your dreams. It's so important to me that you do not leave this live event and think that, or not even think, decide you're going to do it for yourself. Ask for help. Okay. So typically the tuition is $10,000 in full. If you do the payment plan, it's normally $4,000 for the deposit and $2,000 each month after. Okay. For Black Friday, and it starts today. The deal starts today. And it's going to be until the end of the month, November 30th at 11:59. Okay. We're going to give you $2,223 off your tuition. So if you enroll in full, your tuition is $7,777. If you enroll in the payment plan program, your deposit is $1,777. $1,800 for you to change your life? Come on now. Now, let me say this. I know it's a lot of people on here that got Louis bags, Gucci bags, shades on a Christmas list, on a wish list, got money that they're setting aside to get these material things. What if you invested that money that you were going to buy that purse with into yourself and you 10x'd your investment in the next 2 months? You 10x your investment in the next 4 months. And now you can buy 10 of those bags. And you have the consciousness of prosperity. You literally cannot fail because you're coming from the God consciousness. Okay, so I'm going to say it again. The Thinking from the End program, we are offering money off of your tuition. This is, honestly, I don't ever do like this much off. Like normally I'll do something off a little bit, but this is like, God was like, nah, like, come on, give them something off. Cool. I got you, God. Right. So if you want to do in full, if you want to pay for your tuition in full, it's $7,777. It's a 6-month course about you. I'm going to teach you everything you need to know to create the life that you absolutely have been dreaming about. Okay. Now, we don't hesitate when they tell us to go to college and get $100,000 worth of loans for 4 years and come out with a degree working a job that we hate for 40 years to get a pension to then die. I'm just being real. Nobody sat down with me and was like, hey, do you think this is a good investment? $100,000 for 4 years of college? And all I want you to do is invest $7,700 in yourself for 6 months, and you're going to be set. You don't need 4 years. It don't take 4 years, baby. All I need is 6 months. Give me 6 months with you, right? So again, if you want to do the in full, it's $7,777. And then the payment plan, your deposit would be $1,777. Okay. So again, you have Thinking from the End. It's a 24-week course. You have the course and the workbook. You have 24 live sessions with me. And then you have the community. Okay. So I want you guys to stay in this energy. I want you to stay in this space. And I know, I'm telling you guys, before you even think about what you can or cannot afford, you need to make the decision. Before you even think about the money, make the decision. A lot of us get tripped up because we make the we try to think about the money before we make the decision. Oh, well, I can't afford it. You haven't even made a decision to afford it. You haven't made the decision yet. Of course you can't afford it. You haven't made the decision. And this is the other thing that I'll say. This is my promise. This is a guarantee. This is the one guarantee that I can give on my course. I can guarantee you that if you find the money to invest in yourself in this course, through this course, it will be the last time you ever say that you cannot afford something that you want. That's a guarantee. I put a stamp on that. This will be the very last time that you fix your lips to say that you cannot afford something that you want if you invest this money into this course, into yourself. Okay. So I'm going to drop the links. It is in my TikTok bio. So the link is in my bio. I'm going to put the code in here. Hold on one second. Hold on, y'all. Let me put the code in here. Give me 2 seconds. Where's the, and the link is, of course, great. So my phone is acting like it. Oh, there we go. Oh, you can't comment when you do it like that. So the code is give thanks, of course. Okay. Because that's what we're doing. We're giving thanks. So that's the code, right? So if you go to my bio, if you're on TikTok, I'm going to drop it in the Zoom right here. If you go to my bio, you'll see Thinking from the End manifestation program. I think for moms and entrepreneurs is how it's worded. Click there and then use the code give thanks. You will either get, well, you'll get the $2,200 off either way. It's either if you want to pay in full, you can do that, or you can do the deposit. But either way, you're going to get the money off. Okay. So let me just drop this in the chat real quick. If you guys have questions, please let me know. If there's a question that's coming up for you, please let me know. If you do not see an option on the website that works for you, please let me know. $1,800 is crazy. Like it's never been that low. Like that's actually like wild. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, so I dropped it in the Zoom. So yeah, if you guys have questions, please reach out to me. But again, this offer is until the 30th, November 30th. This is a Black Friday deal for tuition, okay? I want to have everybody in this program, right? We will have a program specifically for like high schoolers coming straight out, because I want this to be like a segue program before they go to college too. Because I didn't have to spend 4 years in college. I could have took a 6-month course like this and been set, right? But it wasn't around at that time for me, and I wasn't aware of it, right? So that's what I want to help you guys do. I want to expand your awareness, right? And have you actually look at the world in a different way, okay? So I love you all. Thank you so much for attending Attitude of Gratitude. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. For the students that are already enrolling, I'm super grateful for you and very excited for your transformation. For anybody that's hesitant, reach out to me, okay? In my bio as well, there is a link for you to book a call with me. Book the call. It's going to be a very quick call, right? Because if you book the call with me, we're going to talk specifically about you, but then we're going to go into enrollment. Okay. So, but if you want more information about how this can help you specifically, book a call with me. The link is also in my bio. Book a call. Let's talk. Let's get you in. I have no doubt in my mind that this is what you need and this is what you want. I know that for sure. I know that. I don't even know what it is you want, and I know this is the program for you. Okay. So let me know if you guys have questions. I love you all. The replay will be on YouTube if you would like to watch it. And then let me know if you guys have any questions. Again, the promo code or the code for the discount is give thanks. So you can get $2,223 off of your tuition. Okay. I love you all. Kisses. I will see you all later. Let me go ahead and turn this off. And